Morning, ladies and gents. How are you all doing today? Today we are going to make some wooden pumpkins, 2x4 pumpkins. As I mentioned before in my previous presentation that I do like to do woodworking, so I figured this would be a good way to demonstrate that skill and that talent that I have. Not really sure how good of a talent it is, but here we go. So as I mentioned before, we're going to make 2x4 pumpkins. I have an example here. This is what it's going to look like in the end before you decorate. So your decorating skills are completely up to you. Stain, paint, draw murals, cut out things with your Cricut, paste them on here for jack-o'-lanterns for Halloween, however you would like. We have 3 different ones that I'm going to show you today. I have pieces cut out already for a 10-inch, a 9-inch, and a 5-inch pumpkin. As you can see, we have pieces together. Oh, I'm gonna drop it. On the very ends, we're gonna make 45-degree cuts to give it that round-ish shape. I've cut a hole in the top so that we can attach our stem later. For safety, we will make sure that we have some eye protection, a mask for when you're cutting or sanding so you don't get the wood particles in your lungs. Gloves for whenever you're using any power tools. I suggest not using the gloves for using the saw though. It can actually grab your glove and pull your hand into the saw, so take them off when you're using that. I've used clamps for holding it together later. Some glue, and I use Titebond because it actually dries quicker than a normal wood glue. I found a stick and I've cut it down into pieces so that we can use it for our stems. So from here we will take the 9-inch pumpkin that I've cut out already. I've cut our pieces, 5 pieces at 9 inches. On the 2 ends I've made one 45-degree cut at the bottom. I'm going to take the 2 outer pieces and I've marked them the 45 degrees that I need to cut off. So I'm going to go over to the miter saw and we're gonna cut off those corners and then we'll bring them back and we'll start assembling. So let me put on my mask for dust. Go out to the saw. From here you wanna adjust your degrees, and the miter saw has it built in already so that you don't have to do any math. You just turn it to its settings, lock it down, okay? And then from here, you would line up your marks that you made with the blade of the saw so that you are only cutting off that corner that you need to cut off. So hold tight, here we go. That's one. Super simple cut. And now we're going to do the other board, both ends. I need to do that one again. It didn't quite come out right. You always want to remove your little pieces that get stuck in here because if the blade catches them, they can make them fly. It could be a very dangerous situation. All right, now that we've got our pieces cut, we're going to go back over here and we're going to assemble. What you want to do is you lay out, and it doesn't matter which one you start with. So I'll do the one that I just cut. Let me take my mask off so you can hear me better. Lay your pieces out flat. You take your glue. Come on. Normally, yes, I would use a putty knife, but I'm going to grab a we have this extra piece of wood that I cut. So we're just gonna spread this down to cover all the pieces of wood. It's a very messy project. Stand them up on end, line them up. Make sure you're flat and lined up. You take your clamp and you squeeze it together. And you would let that sit. Let it sit up and dry. So at this point, you want to go through and wipe off any of the excess glue that you've got that's squished out so that it doesn't dry in clumps on you. Okay? So now that we have that, I also have the stem to put on. So I've already cut a hole in this top board for a dowel rod to go in. I've cut a hole in the bottom of the stem, and all I'm gonna do is take a dowel rod, put it in there, put this on here. I'm sorry, I'm gonna add a little bit more glue to this wood so that it holds all the way around. And that's it. And we let that set up. Once you've got this all set up and it's all glued, you would unclamp it, sand it down so that it's smooth and you don't get any splinters that come off on your hands when you're decorating. So that concludes making a wooden pumpkin in very easy steps and very little time and very little supplies. I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you to our audience.
Thank you, everyone.